have a lot of problem forming, healthy, intimate relationship with their spouse. Yeah, because they are already emotionally married to their mother. So, they cannot, establish a healthy relationship with their spouse. They, establish a kind of a transactional, instrumental, and conditional relationship with their spouse, just the same way how they have been trained, how they had been serving their narcissistic mother. They, establish the same kind of a relationship with their spouse. Yeah, so it's all about, serving the son, I mean the narcissistic mother's son. And I have seen these sons who are victim of emotional incest. Hello everyone, I hope everyone is doing good and taking good care of themselves. So today I'm going to talk about, the things to expect, from your elderly narcissistic parent. And before I get going, I would request you all to like, share, subscribe the channel, hit the notification bell so you guys are updated whenever we put out a new content. So I mean, in my previous videos also, I have talked a lot about narcissistic parents and, the different ways, they manipulate you, they damage you, and they simply, leave you scarred for life. Narcissistic parents have extreme sense of entitlement, they lack empathy, they have inability to self-reflect, they have extreme hunger and craving for attention, admiration, and all of this, makes them, like ruthless masters. So it's all about I, me, myself, and you can go to hell. Narcissistic parents, breed because they want more source of supply. They want loyal, dedicated, and, permanent slaves who don't run away, who are always, saying yes to all their demands, needs, and requirement. And that's, pretty much how, these relationships are. I mean, narcissistic families, narcissistic parents are. So it's all about them. It's pretty one way. Your feelings, your emotions, uh, is something which is, not their concern. Your emotion, your feeling is something which they are not concerned about. All what they are concerned about is what you can give them, what they can, harvest out of you. That's all. Narcissistic families are like, farms where, these narcissistic parents, they sow the seed, I mean they reproduce, and when the time is right, they start harvesting. Yeah, I mean, in my country, I see it, happening in a lot of ways. I see, dowry thing happening, where, these narcissistic parents are raising their children and then demanding money. Yeah. When the son is getting married, they are charging money that I need so and so, and only then I'll get my son married to your daughter. The other ways I have seen is that, narcissistic parents, collecting freedom tax from their adult children. So if you want to go to a different city and not stay with the family, you have to pay, a sum of money to the narcissistic parent on a regular basis. Even though you are having problem, challenges, even though you are finding it difficult to make ends meet, but still you have to pay them. Yeah, I mean, like a royalty income sort of a thing. Yeah, so narcissistic parents, really damage their children in a lot of ways. The other things that I have observed in my country is, these narcissistic parents, especially, these covert narcissistic mothers, they manipulate their son to such an extent that, sons are almost like blind devotee of the mother, where, these mothers, they project themselves as someone who has been victimized, brutalized, antagonized a lot by the entire world, by the husband, by the grandparent, and she's chose to stay, in the relationship just for the sake of the son. These covert narcissistic mothers, also, manipulate and brainwash their son in such a way that son becomes like a surrogate husband to these narcissistic mothers. Yeah, and as a result of which, these adult children, I mean these sons, they have a lot of problem forming, healthy, intimate relationship with their spouse. Yeah, because they are already emotionally married to their mother. So they cannot, establish a healthy relationship with their spouse. They, establish a kind of a transactional, instrumental, and conditional relationship with their spouse, just the same way how they have been trained, how they had been serving their narcissistic mother. They, establish the same kind of a relationship with their spouse. Yeah, so it's all about serving the son, I mean the narcissistic mother's son. And I have seen these sons who are victim of emotional incest. In most of the cases they are the golden child, and they grow up to be narcissists themselves. And I have seen that these men really torture and harass their wife. So the entire goal and objective of marriage for these golden child or adult children who are victim of emotional incest is basically to bring another source of supply for their covert narcissistic mother. Yeah, so now the daughter-in-law has to serve the narcissistic mother's needs, expectations, and everything. So earlier it was the son who was playing the husband. Now the son has a wife, and the wife also needs to be, someone who keeps serving the narcissistic mother, who keeps pleasing, and who keeps, taking care of the narcissistic mother. In the process, narcissistic mother, does a lot of, drama, manipulates the son. I have seen in some of the cases where the sons are physically violent and abusive towards their wife, and it's all because of the covert narcissistic mother. They narrate false stories, they withhold facts, they do all sorts of things. Yeah, because she doesn't see the son as a son. She sees the son as a part of herself, who is like a replacement to her husband. The kind of emotional reassurance and support that was not provided by the husband, well, she has created something, and that something is giving her all of the things that she wants. She doesn't care. I mean, these covert narcissistic mothers doesn't care how this emotional incest, parentification, and all of these stuff would impact and affect the son's relationship. They are least concerned and bothered about all of that. All what they're concerned about is how well they are able to harvest things out of their children. Yeah, children are like um, small term investment with huge return. Yeah, especially the son. Son is going to bring in money, son is going to make me feel good as a mother, son is going to get married and bring another slave, son is going to you know reproduce, and I will have more slaves at my service. Yeah, I'm going to have more strings to pull. Yeah, so I mean, these are the things that I have seen uh, where I am from. I don't know about other continent, but yeah, these things are quite common in my country. Yeah, I mean, I personally feel that in every family there is one narcissist, and to an extent, I would give credit to this social learning theory. Yeah, because your kid only learns what he or she sees. Yeah, since the childhood, and as a result of which all of these narcissists are modeling such narcissistic behavior, attitude, and tendencies that a lot of people are learning from them. They think that this is the right way, and it's absolutely okay to abuse, exploit, manipulate. It's absolutely okay. I need to be concerned about myself and not the others. Yeah, whereas I mean, if we look at healthy individuals, or those individuals who have healed, who have worked on themselves, so those individuals are not going to manipulate you to an extent where you are damaged, you are scarred for life. Yeah, I mean, everyone manipulates, but the way how a healthy individual manipulates is by being in a certain limitation and boundary. They don't manipulate you to such an extent where it is damaging for you, or it's hurting you, or it's creating problems for you. Yeah, I mean, healthy individuals don't get into that kind of a dirty game. With narcissistic individuals, they're entitled individuals. Yeah, and it's all about them. They really don't care what you are going to suffer or face later. That's something which they are not interested to know, or they don't care about that. Now coming to the different things that you can expect from your elderly narcissistic parent. Narcissistic parents become more toxic when they grow old. When they are in their prime, I mean, like 35, 40, 45, they are a different kind of toxic. But as how they age, they grow more toxic with I would say more of a, victim facade. Yeah, all of that grandiose facade, transforms into a victim facade. I have seen, this transition in a lot of cases. And yes, there are, those who, keep playing grandiose even in their old age. I have seen those, who keep playing, covert in their old age. But, majority that I have come across, or, the kinds that I have dealt with, they are grandiose in their prime and then they become victim in their old age. Yeah, I mean, majority I have seen, them transforming. So when they grow old, they have a victim role to play, and that role gets them a lot of sympathy. That role, gets them a lot of things. Yeah, it's all about harvesting supply. They will put on a mask that is, convenient for them. They will put on a mask that gets their work done. They will put on a mask, you know uh, that helps them harvest, the things that they want. Yeah, that's it. They are like shapeshifters. They are into shapeshifting, and throughout their life they keep shapeshifting. Yeah, they might not be that narcissistic in the childhood, but as how they grow old, you know all of that extreme narcissistic traits are more visible. The moment they reach their prime, they are full-blown narcissists. I mean, they might, either project themselves as the grandiose one, or spiritual one, communal one, covert one, or the mix. But as how they age, as how they grow old, it's more of this, victim image. Yeah, in most of the cases I have seen, some of the narcissists who are, still into that grandiose role in their old age. I have seen those as well. But, majority I have seen transitioning. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how things are in other continent. I mean, if you guys are, in a different continent, please let me know, the kind of, cases that you have seen. Have you also noticed that they transition from being grandiose to more of a victim? I mean, do let me know. So, narcissistic parents, when they grow old, they become more hungry for attention and admiration, because with time, everyone has their own priority in life. Some of the flying monkeys, go off hook. The scapegoat runs away, or the golden child, gets busy in his or her life. All of the enablers and the other supply sources might, get busy in their own life. They might have priorities, and they might not be there. Yeah, when the narcissist, turns old, by that time everyone gets busy. Some of them run away, some of them, start their own business of exploitation and abuse, because some of them, mature and, become narcissists, themselves. So, as how narcissists grow old, they lose a lot of, sources of supply, and they put in more effort, yeah, to have more sources of supply, because they want attention, whether it is positive or negative. Attention, admiration, any kind of feedback is like oxygen for them. So if they see that, their supply sources are depleting, they start, making newer supply sources, or they start, aggressively manipulating, their supply source, that is there. I mean, whether it is the invisible child, or the scapegoat, or the lost child. I mean, whatever they have, handy, they start exploiting those individuals more. And this is to, keep them on hook for long. This is to, get them to give them whatever they want, and give them all that, attention, admiration, and keep serving them, and keep fulfilling their unrealistic expectations, dreams, and desire. So, as how narcissistic parents grow old, they become more toxic, more manipulative, and they, play the greatest victim. Yeah. So now, coming to the things that you should expect out of your elderly narcissistic parent, the first thing is greater entitlement. So as how they age and as how they grow old, this entitlement, increases in them. Yeah, because gray hair, maybe, not physically fit, a little weak, all of that, is something that they capitalize on. All of that, is something that they use. well, you don't respect me, I am elderly, don't you see my hair is all white, I have got more knowledge and experience than you, how dare you speak to me like that, rules don't apply to me, I cannot stand in this queue, I need special treatment, I'm a senior citizen. Yeah, I mean, we come across those individuals. So as how they age, as how they grow old, this entitlement thing increases. They exhibit greater entitlement, yeah, in their action and behavior. And this is basically to again harvest supply. Yeah, I'm old, don't you see I can't stand straight, don't you see I can't walk, don't you see I'm unable to do things, and you are treating me this way, you are disrespecting me, you are not giving me attention, I should be dealt first and not to all those individuals. Look at my age, look at where I come from, and all of that. You know how things are. The other thing to expect from your elderly narcissistic parent is them becoming the greatest victim of all time. Yeah, so in their prime they might not be into playing victim, but as how they grow old, they are more into playing victim. You have got no idea how much I have suffered, you have got no idea what this arthritis is doing to me, you have got no idea what this diabetes is doing to me. They are least interested if you are suffering from cancer, diabetes, or any other health condition. They are not concerned about that. Yeah, all what they're concerned about is you know uh, narrating and repeating their issues and challenges that they are facing and going through. Yeah, their suffering is the greatest, their achievement is the greatest, their pain is the greatest. I mean, in their case everything is the greatest. Yeah, so there is no point in expecting them to understand your side of story, or show compassion and empathy towards your challenges, health condition, pain, suffering. Please don't have all those expectations. It will be really foolish, and you will be wasting your time and emotion. Yeah, have this radical acceptance. We are dealing with someone who's very entitled individual, and someone who lacks empathy. So don't expect a healthy response from such sick individuals. So yes, they become the greatest victim of all time. And this helps them garner a lot of sympathy, attention, affection from the others. People feel pity. People are like, okay, let me do it for him, okay, let me give him this seat, okay, let me get his work done, let me not keep him standing in the queue for long, let me help him with his work. So they know how to use themselves, yeah, to get what they want, whether it is their broken leg, whether it is their diabetes, whether it is their cancer, whether it is their wrinkle, whether it is their white hair, whether it is any health condition. They know how to capitalize all of their illness, issues, everything. The next thing to expect from your elderly narcissistic parent is more family manipulation. So as how they grow old, a lot of supply sources run away, they lose a lot of supply sources. So whatever they have with them, whatever they are left with, they manipulate those supply sources by creating sibling rivalry, by manipulating your children against you. Narcissistic grandparents are horrible grandparents. Yeah, so I normally suggest and advise all my clients to not allow your kids with your narcissistic parents, because they are very manipulative, and you have got no idea what they are going to feed that child, and how they are going to really mess up that innocent young mind. Yeah, so narcissistic parents get into extreme family manipulation, and this is basically you know uh, to stir up such a chaos in the family that everyone is divided and everyone is focused on serving them. Yeah, so narcissistic parents become more manipulative as how they age and as how they grow old. Narcissistic parents might fake illness. Narcissistic parents might foul mouth about a sibling to the other. You have got no idea this you have got no idea, your sister doesn't take care of me, she gives me stale food. Yeah, and that's how they make siblings fight with each other. They start up this competition. Yeah, and all of the siblings are fighting with each other. you know uh, so that they can prove themselves. Yeah, they can be the good child to the narcissistic parent. But we know that all these labels, all these roles are very disposable, and these titles and roles are not fixed. Yeah, today you are doing things their way, you can be the golden child, you'll be the good kid, but the moment you fail to give them the kind of things they expect out of you, you will be stripped of that title. So don't live in that bubble. The sooner you realize, the better for you. So yes, there is a lot of family manipulation that you can see when you have elderly narcissistic parent. They will foul mouth about this family member, that family member, and this is basically to position them as the saint. This is basically to position them as the only victim, and that's it. And everyone keeps serving the narcissistic parent. Narcissistic parents really don't want to lose the leftover supply that they have. Yeah, because it will be difficult for them. Yeah, because they are, as it is, old. Some of them might be sick, have some health condition. So who's going to do for them? Yeah, they bred for a purpose and reason, and that is these children to become um, hospice, or you can say a caregiver, or nurses in their old age. They don't want to spend money and hire such services. They want to torment and torture and exploit the children till the time they are on this planet. Yeah, they don't want their kids to enjoy and be happy in their life and do things their way. They raise you, and then they are on your shoulder. Yeah, like a devil, they are sitting on your shoulder and sucking that vitality and energy and every good thing out of your soul. Yeah, and by the time they are dead and gone, trust me, you are damaged beyond repair. Yeah, so the sooner you realize what you're dealing with, I mean, I would advise, work on your finances and become independent and run away. Use boundaries, but all of these things, fail. The only solution is going no contact. Gray rock, boundary, none of it really works. Yeah. So yes, as how they age, you will see more of family manipulation happening. The other thing to expect from your elderly narcissistic parent is exploiting sympathy. So narcissistic parents are, going to, make it a conversation starter. You have got no idea I've got arthritis over here. You have got no idea I've got pain in my shoulder. You have got no idea I've got diabetes. You have got no idea I've got this, I've got that. So it's almost like a conversation starter. And this is basically to, garner sympathy, attention, and affection. Yeah, and this is basically to make their kids do more. Yeah, they're going to keep narrating, keep presenting themselves as someone who's suffering, someone who's in pain, someone who's a kind of a victim. Yeah, and they project themselves in front of the others. This is like a conversation starter with the others and in the family. And this is all to garner attention and sympathy. They like exploiting sympathy. They want people to feel sorry for them, and when people feel sorry for you, they end up helping you and they end up doing things for you. So narcissistic individuals are expert in exploiting anything and everything that they have. Yeah, whether it is their gray hair, their wrinkle, their age, their social status, their beauty, looks, disease, whatever. So yes, narcissistic parents, I mean elderly narcissistic parents, are big time into exploiting sympathy. The other thing to expect from your elderly narcissistic parent is that these narcissistic parents are going to use inheritance to further control you, manipulate you, and exploit and abuse you. So they are going to dangle inheritance like a carrot in front of you, and they are going to tell you, well, if you do this for me, if you take care of me, I'm going to write this to you. I'm not going to write all of this to your sister. She's not doing anything to me. All of this is going to go to you. And this scapegoat, or the invisible child, or the lost child, or whatever, I mean, or whoever is there with the narcissistic parent, they fall for it because they have been so codependent, and they have been damaged to such an extent that they are unable to function alone. They are very much dependent on their narcissistic parent, and they see this a kind of a return. Yeah, now I'm going to get this. If my father dies, I'm going to get this, so let me serve him, let me do this for my mother, let me do that for my father. Yeah, my sister is anyways away, she went no contact, she is all by herself, so let me do it. It's almost like a final paycheck for these kids who are stuck with their narcissistic parent, this inheritance. It's almost like a final paycheck that they expect out of their narcissistic parents. As it is, we know that narcissistic parents are never going to let you become independent and be yourself. They will crush your soul, they will damage you, manipulate you in various ways, so that you are dependent on them, whether it is financially, emotionally. Yeah, and that's how they play their dirty game. So they use inheritance. Yeah, they will create a kind of a competition. Whoever serves me get this, whoever serves me gets that. And if you don't serve me, don't expect anything from me. I'm going to write everything to your sister. Yeah, they are going to do all sorts of things. So yes, inheritance is something that narcissistic parents use to control, manipulate, exploit, and abuse their children. The other thing to expect from your elderly narcissistic parent is that you will have to bear more burden on your shoulder and expect zero gratitude in return. Narcissistic parents are entitled individuals. They are never going to thank you or tell you, you have done so much for me, thank you so much. Why don't you take rest? Why don't you enjoy your life? Why don't you take leave, and I will try and manage things. Narcissistic parents are not going to do that, because they bred you for a purpose and reason. So they will keep on burdening you with more responsibilities. Oh, please do this for me. Why don't you do this for me as well? Please go and do this for me. And there is no thank you. There is no gratitude. Of course, there is no apology, there is no remorse, and there is no sorry. Yeah, in narcissistic relationships, you will not find these things are absolutely alien to a narcissistic individual. It's all about I, me, myself, I need special treatment, and you can you know go to hell. So narcissistic parents are going to burden their children more, I mean the adult children more. And the kid has to betray himself or herself. The kid has to keep aside his responsibility and priorities, I mean towards his family, work. And the kid has to be 100% devoted and dedicated to the narcissistic parent, and not expect anything in return. No thank you, no gratitude, nothing. Yeah, only they can expect is inheritance. Yeah. But in some of the cases I have seen these kids being fooled also. They were kept on hook with this inheritance thing, and in the end narcissistic parent wrote all of the things to some trust and to some charity or to some other relative or to his girlfriend, and to their boyfriend. Yeah, so I have seen kids being betrayed. Yeah, I mean the lost child, the golden child. Narcissistic parents are very unpredictable individuals. They're very sly, very wicked. you know um, it is very difficult for you to gauge what their next action will be. Yeah, and this helps them be in control. Yeah, they don't want to become someone who's predictable. Yeah, so they do all sorts of things. So yes, kids will be burdened with more responsibilities. They will be expected to you know uh, ignore their responsibilities and keep serving the narcissistic parent without anything in return. So yes, these were a couple of things that you can expect from your elderly narcissistic parents. I mean, there is a lot of things that you will see when you have a narcissistic parent. But yeah, these are some of the main things that you notice and you get to see from your elderly narcissistic parent. In case if you would like to add in something, you can always comment below. Till then, take care of yourself. Lots of love and blessings to all of you. Bye.